15 ran. Newbury's latest race has gone the way of Mole's Memory for trainer Ed Walker, Liam Canary on board, and this one outgunning Dan Stever in the run to the line. We're going to head back on over to Cheltenham very shortly ahead of the 420 contest, which is a maiden hurdle over the 2-mile trip. They'll be going without number 9, Tricks and Trails, doesn't run in this one. That now leaves us with a field, as I say, of 11. Good little race. Fred for Nicky Henderson has been knocking on the door quite a bit, particularly for previous connections. This is an ex-French horse, now in the care, as I say, of the Nicky Henderson yard. Daryl Jacob taking the ride. I think there are several interesting runners in opposition. Another ex-French horse is Cap du Matin, who's now in the care of Paul Nicholls. Harry Cobden will be taking the ride on this one. Others worthy of consideration: Nigel Twiston-Davis's Stolen Silver, Dan Skelton's Get a River, and there's an Irish raider as well in Heaven Help Us. It promises to be a really intriguing little contest, particularly looking forwards. A race which Thomas Darby won last year, and we all know what a fine animal he turned out to be
in 60 seconds.
last term. 4:20 then the off time for the next race at Cheltenham. Do be sure to rejoin us. Newbury, 4 o'clock. First was number 3, Mole's Memory at 7-1. Second, at number 4, Dan Stever at 8-1. And third, number 13, Dream World at 9-1. They went without numbers 2 and 12, and 15 ran. Newbury's latest race has gone the way of Mole's Memory for trainer Ed Walker, Liam Canary on board, and this one outgunning Dan Stever.
This event starts in 30 seconds.
We're going to head back on over to Cheltenham very shortly ahead of the 420 contest, which is a maiden hurdle over the 2-mile trip. They'll be going without number 9, Tricks and Trails, doesn't run in this one. That now leaves us with a field, as I say, of 11. Good little race. Fred for Nicky Henderson has been knocking on the door quite a bit, particularly for previous connections. This is an ex-French horse, now in the care, as I say, of the Nicky Henderson yard. Daryl Jacob taking the ride. I think there are several interesting runners in opposition. Another ex-French horse is Cap du Matin, who's now in the care of Paul Nicholls. Harry Cobden will be taking the ride on this one. Others worthy of consideration: Nigel Twiston-Davis's Stolen Silver, Dan Skelton's Get a River, and there's an Irish raider as well in Heaven Help Us. Yeah, welcome back. Over we go for the action at Cheltenham, where number 9, Tricks and Trails, is a non-runner. Master Debonair is the 5-4 favourite, with second in Fred at 3-1. That's been a little bit easy to back, out from 2-1, with Get a River at 9-2, 7-1 Cap du Matin, and then 20-1 bar those. So the market headed by Master Debonair. For Colin Tizard, Robbie Power taking the ride. This horse, returning from a bumper campaign back at last term, was actually second in the bumper at this very meeting, and went on to perform really creditably elsewhere. And it'll be interesting to see whether or not the going is ideal for Master Debonair, particularly given that he's had that wind up. But as we say, he is a course winner. Now he starts hurdling, and he represents a stable which are in form. Fred is the second favourite for Nicky Henderson. First start for the Nicky Henderson yard today, Fred. And Daryl Jacob taking the ride on this one. A 3-1 chance. Get a River then at 9-2. That's been well backed. In from 8-1, Get a River. Unbeaten so far. 3 from 3, a point-to-point, and 2 bumpers. And it'll be interesting to see what that form is worth. Another who's actually had a wind-up, and the tongue tie on for the first time as well. So we'll see if Get a River can perform. She'll be getting weight from the boys here, which will be a little bit of a help. Just dismounted down at the start was King Fast. Aidan Coleman taking the ride for trainer David Dennis. A 33-1 chance, just the one run so far. That was when second on debut. And also just being attended to down at the start is Trois Bonhomie, Colin McCormack, big outsider this one. 150-1 chance, and he's just jumped off here, has Colin. So a few late saddle adjustments for this individual, while the others wait patiently. Quick mention for Cap du Matin, 15-2, out from 5-1. Off the track for the best part of a year, really, now with Paul Nicholls, Harry Cobden on board. And his form from France is quite interesting. Cap du Matin, the horse who arrives here having run a couple of times at Auteuil. One of those was in very testing ground, so you'd like to think he'll revel in the underfoot conditions. I don't think it's overly testing at Cheltenham though today. Good to soft, good in places, so it's perfect jumping ground really, isn't it? And that rain I don't think has quite arrived as yet. Master Debonair though 5-4 favourite. Fred at 3-1, Get a River 4-1, in from 8s as halved in price. Cap du Matin at 15-2 and 20-1, and upwards the other runners. So they'll be coming forward in just a few moments over at headquarters. A maiden hurdle, so a race for horses which have not yet won a race in this discipline. So even though they've got ones next to their name, one or two of these, that will be in bumper company or in pointer points. Master Debonair favourite. Back on board now, Colin McCormack, back on board Trois Bon Ami, which is a good sign, because we're nearly 4 minutes past the clock over at Cheltenham. And this is going to take us fairly close to our next race at Newbury. And still we wait, not too sure why. And they're about to make their way out onto the track for this Foundation Developments Limited maiden hurdle. Looks like Heaven Help Us and Danny Mullins are intent on getting an easy lead here, an early lead if nothing more. They are leading them out onto the course. Just a reminder once again that Thomas Darby won this race 12 months ago for the Ollie Murphy stable, en route to of course being placed in the Supreme Novices, I think it was, wasn't it? And he now promises to be an exciting novice chaser for the forthcoming season. So the runners ambling their way out onto the track as we now move fully 5 minutes beyond time, which is not ideal. Mind you, Newbury not until 4:35, so we still have a little bit of leeway, which is good news. Master Debonair at 5-4, Fred at 3-1, Get a River 4-1, Cap du Matin at 15-2, 20-1 Ship of the Fen, 28-1 Stolen Silver, and 33s bar those. Let's go live to Cheltenham and join the call as the runners come forward. It looks as if Heaven Help Us is going to be granted that early lead. It doesn't appear that anyone else is all that keen in going to the front from the word go. But we're about to find out what happens.
This event is now in play
as the runners make their way forward. Best of luck if you're playing here on this maiden hurdle event. And they're coming in. Oh, it's going to be too quick though for a start, I'm afraid. Has he let them go? I think he has. Yes, he has. They're off and racing. Let's go and join them.
King fast as they just amble down towards flight number 1. Master Debonair is pulling quite hard just in behind them, and an awkward jump in last place there came from Stolen Silver. But there's a few of them pulling hard, including Trois Bon Ami further back, as they head now towards the second, a long run to it, and King Fast takes up the running narrowly from Heaven Help Us in second place. Master Debonair is next, pulling, and then Cap du Matin, lovely looking horse for the Stewart family, the red and white and black colours, in fourth place. Fred's just in behind him, Ship of the Fen in sixth place. Stormforce Ben is another one taking a fair odd grip, so too is the mare Get a River as they pop over the second flight. Get a River's there with Trois Bon Ami, and the two back markers are Stolen Silver together with Chestnut Pete to the wide outside. So the run now is between flights 2 and 3, and the leader is Heaven Help Us, and Dan